Afternoon delight. You like Piña Coladas and getting caught.
Some of the biggest songs of the 1970s sounded completely harmless. Parents heard them on the radio, kids sang along, and millions of people never stopped to ask what the lyrics actually meant. But hidden behind those catchy melodies were marijuana references, sexual double meanings, controversial lyrics, and stories far stranger than the songs themselves. Today, we're counting down 12 famous songs from the 1970s that were way dirtier than you probably realized. And number 1 has a story that started with a nightclub door slamming shut.
Some call me the gangster of love.
Number 12, The Joker, Steve Miller Band.
Sure, baby, don't worry, 'cause I'm right here.
When Steve Miller Band released The Joker in 1973, nobody expected it to sound dangerous. It was loose, funny, and almost lazy, and then it reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. But listen closely, and there's one phrase that changes the picture: the midnight toker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight.
Steve Miller had already given himself several strange nicknames in earlier songs. There was the Gangster of Love, there was Maurice, and now there was the Midnight Toker. The reference was to marijuana use, yet Miller delivered it so casually that most radio listeners simply accepted it as another goofy Steve Miller phrase.
Lovey-dovey all the time.
Then there's the word pompatus. It sounds like it should mean something, but nobody could quite agree on what. Miller had borrowed the idea from an earlier doo-wop recording and turned the strange invented word into part of his own mythology.
Play my music in the sun.
So one of the biggest hits of the early 1970s was quietly hiding two things in plain sight: a drug reference and a word that may not mean anything at all. And that's actually one of the more innocent songs on this list.
Well, don't you worry, no, don't worry, mama.
Number 11, Love to Love You Baby, Donna Summer. Love to Love You Baby didn't hide its meaning nearly as well. Donna Summer recorded it in 1975 with producers Giorgio Moroder and Pete Bellotte. But the story of how it became a hit is almost as interesting as the song itself. Summer recorded the extended vocal performance alone in a dark studio because the setting helped her feel less inhibited. What she created sounded intensely intimate, and the original version lasted nearly 17 minutes. Then, Casablanca Records president, Neil Bogart, heard the extended recording at a party. His reaction was immediate. He wanted more. The song was released, and suddenly, disco had one of its most controversial records. The BBC banned it, while American radio stations generally played a shorter edit, meaning millions of people heard a safer version without ever realizing how provocative the original recording really was. It eventually reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and helped turn Donna Summer into one of disco's defining stars. But number 10 proves you don't even need to understand the lyrics to sing along to a dirty song. Sometimes, you just need to speak another language. Number 10, Lady Marmalade, Labelle. Lady Marmalade became a number 1 hit for Labelle in 1975. The music was funky, the vocals were huge, and then came the French. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? To an English-speaking audience, it sounded mysterious, maybe even elegant. But the translation was much more direct. The phrase asks whether someone wants to sleep together that night, and the song itself tells the story of a New Orleans sex worker. Yet here's the detail that makes this story unforgettable. Patti LaBelle later said she didn't fully understand what the French lyric meant when they recorded it. She remembered thinking the song was about a woman walking down the street. She was apparently not the only listener who missed the meaning, because for many Americans in 1975, the French language became the perfect disguise. They could sing the chorus perfectly without having any idea what they were saying. The song became a classic, and Patti LaBelle eventually performed it for decades with full knowledge of its meaning. But at the beginning, even the woman singing it didn't completely understand the secret. And number 9 didn't need another language to cause controversy. It just needed a Catholic girl.
Come out, Virginia, don't let me wait. The Catholic girl start much.
Number 9, Only the Good Die Young, Billy Joel.
Only the good die young. That's what I said.
Billy Joel released Only the Good Die Young in 1977, and the music sounds energetic and almost playful, but the story is much more provocative. The narrator is trying to convince a Catholic girl named Virginia to abandon her religious restraint and sleep with him.
I run with a dangerous crowd. We ain't too pretty, we ain't too proud.
Joel didn't choose the name Virginia by accident. The name itself carries associations with purity and innocence, which makes the narrator's argument even more obvious. The song caused controversy almost immediately, with the Catholic Archdiocese of New York reportedly asking radio stations to stop playing it.
Give you quite enough information.
Some stations temporarily banned it, and one Wisconsin station refused to play it altogether. But the controversy created something every record company wants: attention. Suddenly, people who hadn't heard the song wanted to hear it, and the more controversial it became, the larger its cultural footprint grew.
Good die young. Only the good die young.
The song only reached number 24, but decades later, people still remember the argument behind it. Sometimes a band doesn't kill a song. Sometimes it gives the song free advertising. Number 8, Walk This Way, Aerosmith. Walk This Way sounds like one of the most energetic rock songs of the 1970s. That energy is actually part of the disguise. Steven Tyler sings so quickly that you can hear the song dozens of times without really processing the story. But Tyler later explained exactly what was happening. The song follows a teenage boy through adolescence and toward his first sexual experience, and even the opening imagery had a much more adult meaning than many listeners realized. Then the story moves toward a cheerleader and eventually the character's loss of virginity. But the guitars are loud, the rhythm is frantic, and Tyler's delivery is almost impossible to follow word for word. So the meaning disappeared beneath the performance, and the song became a rock classic, without most casual listeners ever stopping to decode the story. Then came 1986, when Run DMC recorded the song with Aerosmith. It became a massive crossover hit and introduced Walk This Way to an entirely new generation. A new generation heard the same riff, the same lyrics, and very likely the same hidden story. Number 7, My Sharona, the Knack. My Sharona exploded in 1979. It reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 6 weeks, while the band's debut album became a massive success. And Sharona became one of the most recognizable names in late 70s pop. But Sharona wasn't fictional. She was Sharona Alperin, a real woman. And when Doug Fieger met her in 1978, she was 17 years old. Fieger was 25, and he became obsessed with her, turning that obsession into the song. Once you slow down and listen, My Sharona isn't really a sweet love song. It's a song about physical attraction and intense desire, and the frantic rhythm almost overwhelms the lyrics. That may be one reason the song passed so easily through mainstream radio. Fieger and Alperin eventually dated for 4 years before separating. Sharona later became a real estate agent in Los Angeles, but her name remained permanently attached to one of the catchiest songs of the decade. And number 6 has something even stranger, because this time the most famous part of the song isn't a lyric, it's a scream. Number 6, Love Rollercoaster. Ohio players Love Rollercoaster reached number 1 in 1976. The Ohio players turned the roller coaster into one giant metaphor for sexual excitement. The ride goes up, comes down, speeds up, and eventually reaches its peak. But that's not why the song became legendary. Listen closely, because there's a scream buried in the recording. That scream created one of the strangest urban legends in pop music, with a story claiming that someone had actually been murdered during the recording session. Different versions named different victims, different suspects, and different explanations. None of them were true, but the rumor became so popular that it was repeated by radio personalities, including Casey Kasem. The Ohio players have given different explanations for the sound over the years. Whatever the truth is, the scream became part of the song's mythology. So Love Rollercoaster had 2 secrets, one hidden in the lyrics and the other hiding in the recording itself.
She was flipping all around like a half-grown female.
Number 5, Rosie. Jackson Browne.
I mixed that sound on the stage so the band could hear.
Jackson Browne released Rosie in 1977 on Running on Empty. At first, it sounds like a backstage love story. A man watches a woman leave with the band's drummer, he loses the girl, and it sounds like the end of the story.
Rosie, you're alright, you wear my ring.
Except it isn't, because Rosie isn't actually the woman from the story. Rosie is a nickname for the narrator's own hand, and the song is about masturbation.
Looks like it's me and you again tonight, Rosie.
That's what makes it so clever. Jackson Browne sings the entire thing with complete sincerity, with no exaggerated comedy and no obvious wink to the audience. If you don't catch the joke, it sounds like another song about a woman. Once you understand it, every line suddenly makes sense.
Girl, it told my imagination not to run.
Running on Empty became a major hit, reaching number 3 on the Billboard 200, and Rosie became a popular live song, which meant thousands of people were happily singing along to a song whose real subject was hiding behind one simple name.
And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway.
Number 4, Afternoon Delight. Starland vocal band
Sticks and stones together make the sparks ignite, and the thought of loving you is getting
Afternoon Delight sounds like a song you could play at a family picnic. Soft harmonies, a gentle melody, and 4 voices blending together helped make it feel almost ridiculously wholesome. In 1976, it reached number 1 and also won 2 Grammy Awards. But the title tells you what the song is really about: a midday sexual encounter. The clever part is that songwriter Bill Danoff didn't want to write an obvious sex song. He wanted something suggestive, something playful, and something that could sound innocent if you weren't paying attention.
Didn't fight, but you got some beta waiting and a thing done right.
And he succeeded. The lyrics talk about anticipation, warmth, getting home, and satisfaction, while almost everything is implied and very little is said directly. That made the song perfectly acceptable for mainstream radio. Then, nearly 30 years later, Afternoon Delight appeared in Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. The cast performed it in an extended a cappella scene, and a new generation discovered the song, many of them probably having the exact same reaction as listeners in 1976. Wait, what is this song actually about?
I was tired of my lady. We've been together too long.
Number 3, Escape, Rupert Holmes.
If you'd like making love at midnight in the dew.
Rupert Holmes released Escape in 1979. Most people know it as the Piña Colada song, and it reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It sounds like the perfect romantic song until you actually follow the story.
I'm not much into health food. I am into
A man is bored with his relationship. Then he reads a personal ad from a woman looking for someone new. He responds, they arrange to meet, and when he arrives at the bar, the woman waiting for him is his own girlfriend.
So I waited with high hopes, and she walked in the place.
She had placed the advertisement because she was bored with him too. So both of them were secretly looking for someone else, and they accidentally found each other.
You like Piña Coladas and getting caught.
Instead of ending the relationship, they laugh about it and discover they still have things in common. It's a bizarre story, but the cheerful arrangement makes it sound almost romantic. The song is about two people preparing to betray each other, yet millions of listeners remember it as a feel-good love song. And now we're down to 2.
Sense of expectation hanging in the air.
Number 2, Voulez-Vous, ABBA.
And here we go again. We know the start, we know the end.
ABBA didn't exactly look dangerous. They had glamorous costumes, perfect harmonies, immaculate pop production, and an image that felt almost completely family-friendly. Then came Voulez-Vous, released in 1979 as a major international hit.
Maybe no big decision. You know what to do. Back is Joseph.
The title sounds mysterious, but the famous French phrase in the song is actually very direct. It asks whether someone wants to spend the night together, and ABBA didn't deliver it like a scandal. They wrapped it inside a polished disco production.
You might Browne. See you leave your table pushing through the crowd.
That's what made the contrast so effective. The music sounded sophisticated, the vocals sounded beautiful, and the whole thing felt like a glamorous night at a European nightclub. Most English-speaking listeners weren't translating every French lyric while dancing. They were simply enjoying the beat.
We go again. We know the start, we know the end. Masters of
And ABBA's clean public image made the song even easier to overlook. 5 years earlier, the same French phrase had appeared in Lady Marmalade, but ABBA gave it a completely different disguise. And now there's only one song left, the biggest hit on this list, and one whose original chorus was much more offensive than the one everybody knows.
Have you heard about the new dance craze? Listen to us.
Number 1, Le Freak, Chic.
And you too will be sold. It's called a freak. They're doing it.
Le Freak became one of the biggest disco songs of the 1970s. It reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, stayed there for 6 weeks, and its guitar riff eventually became one of the most sampled pieces of music in recorded history.
Now we're free. Oh, what a joy. Just come on now.
But none of that was supposed to happen. The story begins at Studio 54 on New Year's Eve in 1977, when Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards had been invited inside. Grace Jones was performing, and they expected to walk through the door. Instead, the doorman turned them away, apparently because he didn't recognize them.
Come on along and have a real good time.
So Rogers and Edwards went back to Rogers' apartment, picked up their instruments, and started turning their frustration into music. The original chorus wasn't supposed to say freak. It contained a much more profane word aimed directly at Studio 54 and the people who had rejected them.
Just come on down to 54.
Atlantic Records didn't want that version, so the word was changed. Freak replaced the profanity, and suddenly the meaning changed completely. What started as an angry insult became a dance invitation. The rejection became a hit, and the insult became an anthem. The people who were locked outside the club ended up creating one of the songs that defined the party inside it. That may be the greatest irony on this entire list. Getting rejected from Studio 54 helped create a #1 hit. And sometimes the best thing that can happen to a song is having someone tell you no. The 1970s were full of songs that sounded innocent on the surface, but hid something very different underneath. Some were suggestive, some were controversial, some were downright strange, and some became classics precisely because nobody stopped to ask what they were really saying. So here's the question. Which song will you never hear the same way again? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed discovering the stories hiding behind the music you grew up with, subscribe, because there are a lot more 1970s songs with secrets hiding in plain sight.